Radical. Let me tell you something about business. If you have more money, you tend to be able to put yourself in a position to make more money. I was at a flea market a couple weeks back. The first time I had a table at this particular flea market, and I had a lot of nice things on this table. One person came by and he said, "Hey, it's your first time here?" I'm like, "Yeah." He says, "Keep your eye out for one of the big boys here." I say, "What are you talking about?" "Well, there's a big boy here that comes by, and whenever he shows up, he'll walk all the tables, and he'll make offers to most all of the tables. And then they'll leave after they sell him everything. And essentially what'll happen is he'll own pretty much a whole wing of the flea market. Doesn't come by that often. But, he said he thinks he just likes to kind of flex how much money he has. It's kind of fun for him. Well, Microsoft is flexing how much money they have. It's not every day something like this goes down. Recently I talked about Take-Two, the owners of Rockstar, trying to go in and basically buy Zynga, or whatever that mobile company name was. And that acquisition hasn't went through yet. But if it does, that'll mean a lot for Take-Two. That's nothing compared to this. This is an acquisition that could change the landscape of gaming for the next several years to come. Microsoft is set to buy Activision Blizzard for $70 billion, with a B. Billion, not million, billion bucks. Instantly I think to myself, okay, this kind of acquisition is going to take a while. There's a lot of legal loopholes they probably have to go through before this kind of an acquisition takes place. This is a huge acquisition. Now you might ask yourself, how does this change gaming, huh? Well, you see those titles in the thumbnail right there? Call of Duty, Candy Crush, Diablo, Overwatch. Just gaming in general. And you might laugh, Candy Crush. Candy Crush is huge. Candy Crush is on every single phone. It's pre-installed when you buy a phone. So you look at these, and that's just a small slice of what Microsoft would own if this goes through. Hasn't went through fully, but I don't see any reason why it would not go through. It'll just take a little time to go through. Now, Microsoft swooped in a certain point. Much in the same way, this person that comes to the flea market, this big boy, walks the tables on maybe a slow day and realizes, you know what? I can pay a little bit of my giant wealth to acquire all these tables and ultimately make more money. Microsoft is in this for the long game. If anybody thought, it's hilarious to think that people thought Microsoft was actually not dedicated to the gaming division. No, it's the exact opposite. Microsoft, I think they kind of got humiliated the last gen, and they said, no, we have a lot of money, and we're going to flex the amount of money we have. Usually, the people that have the most money wins. And, I can see an argument being made that this is monopolization, and this is a bad thing for gaming. I get that, definitely. I mean, Sony's done this also, so Microsoft's not the only one. Sony's done this with franchises typically that were multi-platform, saying, hey, you know what? We're not even going to allow this to be on an Xbox console. Consider this, though. To a lot of you not thinking that this is going to be a landmark change in gaming, one of the biggest franchises currently in gaming every single year, Call of Duty, and I know a lot of you don't really like Call of Duty. I really don't play Call of Duty specifically. I'm not really into it, but it's huge. Call of Duty, one of the franchises gobbled up in this deal. Imagine Microsoft being able to market that as being basically free on their consoles. Free within Game Pass, a service they offer for not really that much at all every single month. $15 a month. And basically they're like, hey, you can play Diablo, Call of Duty, freaking Overwatch, you can play all these games. You can play all these games. Games that I haven't been maybe looking to get into. Now, if I have Game Pass, I'm like, okay, I'll log in. And it's not just this. It's Fallout. It's all the stuff they acquired in the ZeniMax deal. And here's the scary part. If this goes through, do you think Microsoft is done gobbling up? I don't think they're done. But, if you're just focusing on the winning of a console war, I think you're missing the whole point. Microsoft, yes, they don't like being embarrassed, and they were basically embarrassed with the unveil of the Xbox and, the Kinect and the sports and everything. They had a misstep. So Microsoft as a company, they don't like being embarrassed outright. So one of the reasons they're doing this is basically just kind of solidifying that they are dedicated to gaming. But I think it's more or less they're a company, they're a business, and they want to make a ton of money. That's essentially what this is about. They pay 70 billion and then they'll make a ton of money back. Just think about this. If they get the exclusive rights to something like Call of Duty, then Sony has to pay them for the ability to even have that featured on their console. And when it comes to exclusives like, the DLC, they can have exclusive, timed exclusives or whatever, And a lot of people, they signify Call of Duty with the Xbox, seeing as the Xbox has always been kind of like the shooter console. So yeah. What happens with their actual exclusive like Gears of War, Halo? You could actually have features of some of these characters in their series like Gears, Halo, and Forza. Imagine like, Forza cars that were decked out looking like Diablo and Cold War and the decals. There's a lot of different possibilities here. One more thing is, I think they were able to swoop in and do this deal because of all the stuff going on at Activision Blizzard and the terrible culture that Activision Blizzard. I do think that Bobby Kotick, he's going to eventually be out. During the transition, I think he's going to still be the head, but I think they're going to switch over and have Phil Spencer kind of controlling all this stuff eventually. If this deal goes through, it's not going to go through until next year. I'm hearing around, middle of the year, something like that. But yeah, this is huge news. The biggest news by far that will happen in gaming this year, and maybe for years to come.